What's up, everybody? It's Lids, and we're back for some more Witcher 2. And last time, we ventured into this odd harpy dreaming cave, and we learned a lot of stuff. Most notably, that there are more harpies for us to fight. Okay, there they are. Enough of that. More still? That's okay. Alright. Now that they've been taken care of, we learned that it seems as though the person that Letho, at least, has been doing all this kingslaying for, at least in part, has been none other than Sheila. And that's, I mean, it's something that... Oh, did I go in the correct direction? I don't know if I did. We'll check in a second. But... Oh, okay, more where you came from. Of course there is. Okay. Are we done here? Maybe, maybe not. Anyways, what I was going to say was that it did seem a little mysterious. If you remember way back to when we initially saw Sheila. What was that? Something else here too? Oh, just that. When we initially saw Sheila, it was when... I swear, I'm never gonna complete the sentence. It was when the Karen showed up in Flotsam. And it seemed a little odd. She was like, oh, hey, let me just mysteriously show up right when the Karen is here. I mean, this was also right as we were showing up, but right as the Karen was showing up. And now I'm going to claim that I'm someone who has been tracking this thing down and trying to hunt it all along, and that I'm the person who should be in charge of taking care of it. However, at the same time, it was supposedly something that was created... Oh, really? It was supposedly something that was created because... or created from magical sources. And I mean, she's a sorceress. The thing that gets summoned by magical means shows up right when she shows up. A little odd. Maybe a bit too much of a coincidence. That, and she did basically mysteriously disappear. Well, maybe not so mysteriously, but we hadn't seen her since we left Flotsam, and... okay, maybe we dropped one of our bazillion harpy trophies? Oops. Except I proceeded to not press the drop button. I pressed the exit button. There we go. Okay, we probably have about precisely a bazillion pounds worth of harpy feathers on us right now. Somehow we missed this looting opportunity earlier, but chestplate is heavy for certain. We have 27 pounds worth of harpy claws. 26 pounds of leather, which I think is another crafting material that we're getting for them on occasion. 16 pounds of harpy feathers. Yeah, I think we got to 60. I think we got to 60. Wow. A lot of heavy stuff in here. Can we waddle our way back with an overcumbered inventory? Or overcumbered person on our way back to town, or is that not so feasible? Because, I don't know. How much is that chestplate worth that we just picked up? 45? I think we probably just have to drop this thing. Probably not terribly practical for us to hold on to it. Oh, and I proceeded to, once again, close our inventory rather than actually drop the item. Drop. Oh, and now I picked back up the harpy claws we dropped. Looks like even after dropping the chestplate that we were still over? Somehow? Oh, I didn't... once again. Apparently I didn't drop the armor. Now we're good. So anyways, all that is to say that we did not get a lot of answers out of Sheila. Ooh, these Solano harpies? They are. At least one of them is. Both of them are. So at least theoretically, they should be a little tougher. That is if they don't do weird stuff, like mysteriously disappear for a second there. So all we really know is that supposedly Letho was getting paid for assassinating the kings. Oh, I somehow dropped my boots, I'm now realizing. It's probably something that I mistakenly dropped when we meant to drop that chestplate earlier. Are they just hanging out in our inventory, or did I actually outright get rid of them? Because they are definitely not here right now. Oh, dear. What did I do? Let's go back. Do any of these? Yep, there are boots here. It does send us over the limit, but hold on, hold on. Only just barely. Drop the trophies. Equip the boots. Drop the other trophy. Now we're on exactly 305 out of 305. Okay, that is still not good enough, apparently. We'll drop another RP trophy. No, not the boots. What? Oh my god. The inventory management is a little questionable, not gonna lie, because going back and forth on the right here between what we're actually equipping and on the left here with what is only in our inventory but not currently equipped is a little finicky. Little finicky. There we go. Okay, so just don't pick up anything else on our way out, basically. Which, now that we are out, theoretically, shouldn't be an issue. Okay. Oh, we also did get a level. Which I think we've been getting basically all of our levels from progressing quests and not so much from just slaying monsters. So that has been somewhat notable in that I think doing side quests, and obviously the main quest, has been pretty much the only way in which to actually level up. And in the grand scheme of things, fighting monsters just for the sake of fighting monsters is not really sufficient, it would appear. Now, so we have the ability to upgrade our Quen sign, which does seem pretty good because we are using this very, very frequently. So deflecting 50 instead of 20% damage. Yeah. Something. I'm not sure that the Quen deflection is doing much damage relative to actually swinging our sword. We could take the additional vigor. I think we're actually doing a pretty decent job at having a reasonable source of vigor at this point. At one point, that was one of our primary concerns. To reduce the vigor needed to block. We have not been blocking very often, to be quite honest. The ability to deal damage to many opponents. Oh! Like group attacks. That seems very good. Or we can have damage reduction. Would we rather... Yeah, I think let's go for the damage first up here, and then we'll go into the group damage immediately thereafter, or soon thereafter. 5% increased damage. Doesn't sound great, but 15% with the next upgrade is maybe good enough. Pretty sure we already looted that guy, and... Yep, they are everywhere. One other thing I was wondering is, how many different kinds of harpies are there? I think we've seen something like 3 at this point. I feel like this is not our silver sword. No, it is. Except I would like you to keep it out. Man, they just keep on coming, don't they? I'm imagining that all the bazillion harpies in this area, who would normally kind of take turns to fight us as we slowly wind down into this quarry here, are instead all coming out at once. We probably should have anticipated, given how this is kind of a gigantic bowl and this looks like an arena down here. Okay. That's a few of them. Well, okay, apparently there's more, though. Ow. Okay, probably throw this back out. Now, are we noticing 5% increased damage? Probably not, quite frankly. We did a comparison immediately before and immediately after. Maybe we'd be able to notice, but I think it's small enough that it's going to be almost unnoticeable. At least not until we upgrade next time round to the 15%. That'll be noticeable. But as I said, it's primarily a means by which to get it to the point where we can damage multiple enemies simultaneously, because circumstances like this, where we're fighting non-stop harpies, it would be helpful to have that ability. Okay, and so, like, I know for a fact that this is going to send us over our weight limit. Do we really need more harpy crafting materials? Oh, we did also get this sword. It has 12% increased damage dealt to harpies, which, against harpies, certainly sounds good. But, otherwise, the lower end of the damage is lower than what we're currently using. The higher end of the damage is higher. On average, it might be pretty similar, though. It does lose the vitality bonus, the freeze bonus, the bleeding bonus. I don't really know how good the freeze bonus is. I do see the enemies getting shattered pretty often, but don't actually know what practical purpose that serves. The bleeding, I guess we do understand what that does, because we've had it dealt to us many a time, although I haven't actually noticed it making a big difference. Oh, and we should actually dump something instead of just saying that we ought to dump something. Like, we dump this other Kedwenny leather armor? That would probably be the quick and simple solution. Let's do it. Is it actually worth more than all the things that we pick up from these harpies? I'm not sure. Circle of power while we're at it, but I think that should give us plenty of inventory space with which to take the bazillion items we have from harpies here. What's this? It's a place of power as well? Why is that glowing? And this too. Huh? Still with the glowing rocks. We've not figured out what the deal is with the glowing rocks yet. So that remains a mystery. The other thing is that there is, or was at least, a locked chest up here. I don't know if we've gotten a key for it. Right here? We have not. So I'm suspicious of that. Given how there are the rocks, there is still that locked chest. Oh, more harpies somewhere. I feel as though we may very well still end up coming back here at some point. This looks like a Solano harpy. Alright, no Solano harpies here. The Irinia, yes. The more powerful of the two kinds that we run into in this area, at the very least. Did I see any other harpies swooping down here? Or was it just you? Oh, there will be more. I heard that, yep. How? What's me? Okay, I see another one coming down the mountain. I see several more coming down the mountain. And flying in that way as well, for good measure. But again, under these circumstances, it would be really helpful to be able to hit multiple enemies simultaneously. So that is honestly the most difficult part of this fight right now is mostly, wow, okay, sure, choose to run halfway across the arena, fight the harpy that is definitely not right next to you. That's the hardest part of doing these fights at the moment. The individual harpies, not bad at all. when there's 10 of them that we're fighting simultaneously, as there were when we were down at the bottom there. Any more coming? That's when things get tricky. There are almost 10 here. That's enough already for us to get overweight. I feel like we are super close to being able to sell off these items, I assume, to the Harpy dude, to whom I expect us to give about 60 or more Harpy feathers. Oh man, even getting rid of Harpy trophy for 1 pound is still not enough? No, we are precisely at 305 yet again. And we will continue to drop our plethora of Harpy trophies. Getting close to the top now, but are there still more Harpies? I wouldn't rule it out just yet. Might be one more wave here. Those are just birds. Harpies are just birds. Kinda, sorta, but not really. See what you're saying, though. Okay, dude.
More Harpy feathers, just like you wanted.
Good work! Why, it's even a pleasure to pay you.
I gotta admit, that might have been the strangest job I've ever had.
Well, it's
Not
hardly
really.
done.
Huh?
I'll hear you out, but I've got a bad feeling about this.
I need a few more feathers.
Who is it that needs them? You or this collector?
But he does, of course.
Pretty suspicious. Why didn't you tell me how many I was supposed to bring right off?
I needed to see the quality.
What
Just
is this guy
a few
doing?
feathers more. I'll pay extra. Decide.
Let me think about
Do you
it.
have a bazillion more Harpy feathers still, I think? 8 Harpy feathers? That's nothing. We just gave you 60. We probably still have more than 60. I mean, it is very odd that this guy wants all the Harpy feathers in the world, yes, but we happen to be capable of supplying all the Harpy feathers in the world. So, as of right now, this does not seem to be an issue. We still have 144 Harpy feathers. Would you like 144 Harpy feathers?
I've got some more feathers. Sleek and untattered. I hope that'll do it.
I look at them and select the finest. There's your payment, with a small bonus.
What am I supposed to do with the ones I have left?
Whatever you wish. I've no need for them.
Really?
Well,
Odd. Visit him later, you say. I mean, this is always was and still is very weird. The fact that he just purchased, I don't know how many Harpy feathers he purchased from us initially, but at least 66 from us just then. So, a bazillion Harpy feathers. It seems very odd. He's up to something, for sure. Are we supposed to visit him later? I mean, I think that we're getting pretty close to wrapping a lot of things up here. So, I am uncertain as to when... Actually, you know what? It's a little later, right? I was gonna say, I'm not sure when the best time to come back to him would be, because I have a feeling that... Ah, yep.
you're
Yep.
beautiful, my queen.
Oh, dear.
My lady.
Thinking
You're
something
a
like this might happen.
wonderful sight. All in your nest envy you.
Got any more Harpy feathers you need, by any chance?
Got any other work for me?
What?
I want you to have this feather. I have no use for it.
No, thank you. Neither do I.
Neither does this collector, you mean?
Yes, neither does he.
I wonder why he needed a specific number of feathers.
I do
Perhaps
too.
to match the number of empty spaces in his feather album.
Don't see how that would matter.
It's immensely important.
Well, I guess I don't know much about collections. Pretty warm for this time of year.
It is colder usually, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mages must
Suppose
be
so.
up to something.
Oh, yes. They devise with experiments. Always changing the world.
Yeah,
They'll botch it one day, and it'll be the end of us, I tell you.
Well,
I
you're
shudder
probably
to
not
even
wrong.
think about it.
Alright, we'll see you around. So, that happened. Nothing else to say on that. What else can you say about that? So yeah, I think now... Ooh. We're definitely headed back to Varian. We're ending his conversation with Geralt. I don't even remember who that is. Oh, this is just our own returning memories. Okay. For a second, I thought that meant like, oh, those memory crystals that we picked up, returning those back to their owners, and I was thinking, I'm not sure if we want to do that. But that is not what that was saying. That was just getting our memory back, our own memory back. You know, the whole amnesia thing. So I think the next thing on our priority list will likely be to try to find Baltimore's house, which was one of the memories that we did see in that dream theater of sorts. Because it seems as though that is actually technically supposed to be a main questline thing, although could very well be something that we might miss out if we did just go straight to Philippa and give her the powerful memory thing and just move on and not focus on getting everything else done. Because I suspect this might give us, well, potentially some additional information. I'm not sure if it would necessarily tell us who might have been involved in the poisoning, but give it a shot. Speaking of who was involved in the poisoning, it was this person here, this building here, where we saw the plans to build the goblet. But we were not able to talk to either of the people who were in here earlier. That appears to still be the case. The problem with the Baltimore house is that, at least from the memory, I was not sure. Where is it? It's in here somewhere. Oh, it's not a main quest. I think the shield icon to the left of the name means that it's a main quest, so there isn't a shield here, so I guess this actually is not a main quest. If we do this, will it actually show us where in town that house is? I doubt it. Yeah. So the problem is, I have no idea where we're gonna find this thing. So, does that mean looking at every single house, trying to find some answers? If so, then that's going to be pretty painful. It's probably a fair guess that it would not be in the human enclave, but who knows, because I'm fairly certain I remember that the person we saw in the dream was a dwarf. Possible, but yeah, unlikely. Definitely not up there. So we'll give it a shot, and I'm not sure how successful we will or will not be. If we aren't successful, then of course we could just end up going back to Philippa's house and turning in that quest. Now, I'm assuming the correct route is not through there, because I doubt that Baltimore lived in the inn. So this is just one of the towers that leads us up to the higher elevation area, so I don't think this is the answer either. Could it be here? I thought this was locked. Yeah. So I wouldn't rule that out. I don't know if there's a way in which we might be able to get a key to unlock that, and maybe only then are we able to go there. Just an herb. I feel like, and ideally I would have looked at the memory one more time. There's Philippa.
Only Philippa Eilhart may enter.
And Saskia. Or, well, Saskia more specifically. Ideally, I would have looked at the memory one more time and tried to double-check a bit. Oh, we have not been in here, it would seem. This is likely to send us overweight if we aren't very selective with what we pick up, because these are generally just the common crafting materials. Iron ore definitely will. Blue meteorite, though. I saw that. Stone medallion. Blue meteorite. Blue meteorite. Other things that we definitely do want to make sure we pick up. Elemental stone? Don't recognize that. Yep, and we did pick up an iron, which I think is quite heavy. So that is my go-to. Oh, and the stone medallion is just junk. Okay. So if we dump that... Oh, no, not the boots. Not the boots! Again, that is very much the theme. Even though we're hovering over the junk medallion, the game is like, no, actually, I want you to get rid of your boots. Thank you very much. And there we go. Get rid of the junk medallion, and we're good. I felt like the place where the dwarf was going in that dream was on or immediately after a bridge. So, this may or may not be a good idea to go up here. Here's the mine, because I feel like once we start doing stuff like this, it is going to become much harder to determine where we have and have not gone. We start messing around with elevations and whatnot. This is, the leader's house, whose name currently escapes me. But I would figure it is safe to assume this is not Baltimore's house. We do know who lives here. Not sure. Oh, something's happening. Yep. I was gonna say. Feel like it might be this one. It's this little walkway leading up to it. This would appear to be the house, although apparently we're supposed to talk to these guys. Let's just drop a quick save right now. We go with here first, or do we talk to them first? Quest indicator is point. What the heck? Okay. It is a blacksmith, so before you overreact to the many hooks hanging from the ceiling, bear that in mind. But, yeah, still definitely not winning any friendly home awards. It is definitely quite creepy. Lots of iron. I know we did just pick something up that put us over the threshold. This would seem like another place where I might expect to find something nice, like a meteorite. Or some herbs. Given how this is a smith and all that. Or smithy. Yeah, but you know, like, the obvious thing is, you know, some pretty serious... What is that? Dead by Daylight? Impressions here, based on what we're seeing in this room. So, yeah! May or may not be an indication of what is to come quite soon. But once again, with the boots! I want the boots, I don't want the iron ore. Give me the boots, I would like to drop the iron ore. Put that. Drop that. Now we're good. Thank you. Nothing to see here. Okay, so it's not like we picked up any valuable information in here that might inform a future discussion with these guys, but also, just for context, remember that all I recall from that memory is that there was a dwarf running away, someone was chasing him, and probably, it seemed like about to, you know, attack him? Oh, wrong one. And he was trying to get to that door. Also wrong one. Third time's the charm. But what are we actually trying to get information about? Geralt witnessed various wonders in the Harpy's Nest. Among others, he saw the dream of Baltimore, a dwarf who had once lived in Vergen. Baltimore was now dead, his dream, in which he was running in terror, having become a reality. Before the Witcher would discover that, however, he would have to find the dwarf's house. So we did that. Geralt found the building from the dream. It looked like a workshop. Yeah. He was about to enter it when he noticed some craftsmen working at anvils nearby. I mean, we did enter anyway, but Witcher decided that if anyone knew anything about Baltimore's fate, these dwarves would. Okay, so the only connection we have is that these are craftsmen, and we saw craftsman-like materials in that house, so maybe there's a relation there, and they're neighbors.
Welcome, Witcher, to my humble home.
I'm looking for a
Home, you
dwarf
say?
by the name of Baltimore. Does he live here?
Master Baltimore vanished some time ago.
But can you tell me more
Who
about that?
was Master Baltimore?
He was our runesmith, the greatest specialist the world has ever seen. A lot of water has flowed down upon Tar since he disappeared. Yet me and my apprentices still can't recreate all the runes he could inscribe.
How did he vanish?
One day he just up and disappeared. He had his fears, even paranoia, but that comes natural with great artists. Thought someone was out to kill him. Then he vanished without a trace in mysterious circumstances. After a month-long search, we held a funeral without his body to honor the memory of the great master.
Is that all?
Baltimore's best apprentice became the new runesmith, and life goes on.
Who is that new, or the apprentice that became the new runesmith? Because I would think that that person might have reason to see Baltimore gone.
Who lives here now?
I do.
Yours truly.
Yeah,
Baltimore's
I
best
figured.
apprentice, I
Yep.
became the new runesmith.
I'm sure you
Got this
did.
house, along with the honor of continuing the great master's work.
Can you tell me something about that moldy door?
That's the entrance to Baltimore's old workshop.
Mind if I take a look?
Not at all. Only you won't find anything but scrap metal and cobwebs.
He's not lying. Unless there truly is more in there. Can we go through here? That's his workshop. That would seem to suggest that this was his house. Oh. Can you look through that? That would suggest that there might be something valuable in there that we might be able to get at some point. Alright, let's take another look, because maybe, now that we've spoken to that gentleman, we might be able to uncover something new. Not totally sure what that might be. Because it did seem as though we ordered everything before. Now, okay, so I know I was saying earlier that, yeah, this looks bad because, you know, there are a bunch of hooks hanging from the ceiling. But just bear in mind that this is a blacksmith. However, that doesn't really do him any favors. So maybe he's not so innocent after all. Hold on a second. That wall looks breakable. I have a suspicion. I have a suspicion. Yeah, iron ore, sure. However, something tells me you are hiding something behind here, and you did not think that we would find it. Alright, let's just, that sort of way, and see what happens to be right here. Baltimore's directions, Baltimore's key, all the clues from Baltimore's notes. Oh my goodness. It's a scavenger hunt? Okay. Geralt found the building in the dream. Witcher decided that if anyone knew anything, it would be the neighboring dwarves. Geralt was right. The building from the dream had indeed been Baltimore's old workshop. His former home stood right next to it, and was now occupied by a dwarf named Thorak, Bergen's new rune master. The Witcher learned that its former owner had vanished without a trace years ago, and was considered dead. The story intrigued Geralt. He knew Baltimore had been living in fear, so he suspected there might be a secret behind the dwarf's disappearance. He decided to investigate, and started by conducting a thorough search of the abandoned workshop of the former rune master, who had experienced the terrible nightmare. It appears that dwarves tend to hide maps and keys in old furnaces. Apparently! I guess that was a furnace that we just walked into. Geralt cleared the soot from his discovery, and the curious Thorak did not voice a single objection to his destruction of the furnace. I mean, we haven't spoken to him yet, but maybe we'll leave that detail out. The note was written in Elder Speech. Oh, okay. Apparently it was. A language the Witcher knew, of course. It said, "Start looking at the well where loud echoes dwell. Take 10 paces toward the river. Walk left and do not shiver. A meager 2 tens of paces. Pass the gate in my good graces." Oh god, this is a riddle too. The one that our safety keeps. Go where the crossroads patron sleeps. I feel like I know who that is, and maybe might be able to shortcut this process a little bit. Every road you need to take, yet the middle one is safe. Heed and look for Ingrid's signs, and you'll follow my designs. If you choose to go right, you'll soon see someone in plight. At noon, this drowned soul points its shadow at your goal. Geralt knew that an Ingrid sign is the symbol of the patron of guides, shaped like a circle, the line traced from it. The line always points to a shelter. What? That's a lot of stuff. So, oh, are we about to get something happen to us?
I heard the rumble, Witcher.
Yeah.
Everything all right?
Yeah,
Maybe.
some rubble.
Find anything?
Not really.
Not a thing.
Poor Baltimore lost his mind before his death and must have destroyed all his notes.
Why
Yeah,
are you
definitely
so
didn't
sure
find
he's
any
dead?
notes.
You didn't find a body. Maybe he just departed.
Well, if he departed, he's as good as dead to us.
Right,
A
'cause you
decent
want
dwarf
him
don't
dead.
leave his settlement. Tell me, why are you so interested in Baltimore?
I mean, you are obviously involved in this whole thing. You stood the most to benefit from it, and you are very concerned about this new investigation that we've started undergoing.
Curiosity, nothing more.
Curiosity can be dangerous. It's led many a man astray.
Are you threatening me?
On the contrary,
Yes, you are.
it's more of a warning. See ya.
Okay, buddy. Yeah, you keep on walking, Thorak. Alright. I think we have a very interesting path to follow, a riddle to follow at that, in the next episode, because maybe we can try to figure out what that stuff means, but, or, you know, try to expedite the process a little bit by reading between the lines and trying to predict what the final place we're supposed to go is. Possibly, but we'll probably just end up following it step by step, hopefully succeeding at that. So, not sure what it's going to lead to, but that's something that's going to have to wait for next time. So hope you all enjoyed this episode. I'll catch you in the next one.